Have you ever found yourself wondering if what happens in your bedroom is normal? Maybe you've questioned whether you're lasting as long as you should, or if there's something you could be doing differently. You're not alone in asking these questions, and today we're going to answer them together with actual science, not guesswork. Well, I'm Dr. Nerea Wolf, urologist and pelvic surgeon, and if you ever face questions or concerns about your urological health, stay with us. We're here to help you understand your body with clarity and comfort. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects millions of men but rarely gets discussed openly: how long ejaculation actually takes, what the research tells us about what's typical, and most importantly, what you can do if you'd like to extend that time. If this is your first time here, I create content to help you understand your urological and sexual health in a way that's honest, clear, and judgment-free. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and feel free to share this with anyone who might benefit. Before we go further, I want to thank Promescent for sponsoring today's video and supporting this conversation about men's sexual health. Let's start by talking about what ejaculation actually is, because understanding the biology can help you make sense of everything else. When you're experiencing sexual stimulation, your body responds in a very specific way. Arousal builds, and eventually, nerve signals travel from the penis, one of the most important being the dorsal nerve, up to your spinal cord. There's a region in your spinal cord called the spinal ejaculatory center, and when it receives enough stimulation, it triggers ejaculation as a reflex. Here's the key part. Once that signal is sent, you can't stop it. It's not something you can control voluntarily. Your body has already committed to the process. What happens next involves several areas of your body working together. The structures that store and transport semen, your seminal vesicles, the bladder neck, and the vas deferens begin to contract. This pushes semen into your urethra, which is the tube that runs through your penis. Then, in the second phase, the muscles around your urethra and pelvic floor contract rhythmically, propelling the semen out of your body. The amount of semen released varies from person to person, but it's typically somewhere between 1.5 and 5 milliliters. That's about a teaspoon, give or take. Now, all of this happens relatively quickly. But how quickly? That's where things get interesting, and where a lot of men start to feel uncertain. You see, most of us don't have a clear sense of what's typical. We might compare ourselves to what we see in movies or hear in locker room talk, but those aren't reliable sources. So let's look at what the actual research tells us. Scientists have studied this question carefully, and they've done it in a way that's surprisingly straightforward. They asked couples to help them gather real data. In 2 large studies involving nearly 500 heterosexual couples from different parts of the world, researchers asked participants to do something pretty simple: use a stopwatch. These couples timed how long penetration lasted, from the moment of entry to the moment of ejaculation, over multiple occasions during a 4-week period. Now, this doesn't include foreplay, cuddling, or any other type of sexual activity. It's specifically measuring the time from penetration to ejaculation. And what did they find? The average time was about 5.4 to 5.7 minutes. Let that sink in for a moment. 5.5 minutes. Not 15, not 30. 5.5 minutes. But here's the other important finding. There was enormous variability. Some men lasted less than a minute. Others lasted over half an hour. Both extremes are part of the human experience, and both are documented in the research. So, if you've been feeling like you're not measuring up, I want you to take a breath. The chances are very high that you're well within the typical range. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what do women actually want? That's a fair question, and researchers have tried to answer it in a couple of different ways. One study asked Canadian sex therapists, people who work with couples on sexual concerns, what they considered to be adequate or desirable timing. They said that 3 to 7 minutes was adequate, and 7 to 13 minutes was desirable. Anything longer than that started to feel less appealing. But when researchers asked women directly, the answers were a bit different. Many women said they wanted the entire sexual experience, including foreplay, to last somewhere between 33 and 37 minutes. And they wanted the penetrative portion to last about 14 to 18 minutes. That's quite a bit longer than what typically happens. And this gap, this difference between expectation and reality, can create real tension in relationships. Here's the part that's often overlooked. Timing isn't just a physical issue, it's deeply emotional. Many men feel like they're ejaculating too quickly. They feel like they don't have enough control, like they're letting their partner down or like there's something wrong with them. And these feelings are incredibly common. Studies suggest that anywhere from 20 to 40% of men struggle with concerns about early ejaculation at some point in their lives. And it's not just a fleeting worry. Research shows that men who experience premature ejaculation often report lower self-confidence, less satisfaction with sex, and more difficulties in their relationships. They describe feelings of embarrassment, guilt, worry, tension, and even fear of failure. And here's what makes it even harder. These feelings don't just affect the person experiencing them. They affect their partner too. The emotional ripple effect can strain intimacy, create distance, and make sex feel more like a source of stress than a source of connection. But despite how common this is, and despite how much distress it can cause, many men never talk to their doctor about it. They feel embarrassed, they don't know there are effective treatments, or they assume it's just something they have to live with. I'm here to tell you that's not true. There are options, and seeking help is not only okay, it's one of the smartest things you can do for your health and your relationship. So let's talk about what you can actually do if you'd like to last longer. There are several approaches, and they range from behavioral techniques to over-the-counter products to medical treatments. Today, I want to focus on one option that's safe, effective, and easily accessible: delay sprays. A delay spray is a topical product that contains lidocaine, a mild numbing agent. You apply a few sprays to the penis several minutes before sexual activity, and it temporarily reduces sensitivity just enough to help you delay ejaculation, without eliminating pleasure. But not all delay sprays are created equal. Some can be messy, some take too long to absorb, and some can transfer to your partner, which defeats the purpose. That's why I often recommend Promescent Delay Spray to my patients. It's specifically designed with a few key features that make it stand out. First, it uses a proprietary formula with anti-transfer technology. That means it absorbs quickly, usually within about 5 minutes, so you don't have to worry about transferring the numbing effect to your partner. Second, it comes with a metered dose spray, so once you figure out the right number of sprays for you, you can use the same amount consistently and get predictable results. And third, and this is important, it's the only delay spray in the United States that has clinical data proving its effectiveness. In a study of 91 men, the average time to ejaculation increased from 6.5 minutes to 11.2 minutes. That's nearly 5 extra minutes. And their partners reported climaxing 50% more often, which means it's a win for both people. You can pick up Promescent without a prescription, and if you use the link in the description, www.promescent.com, Nerea Wolf, you'll get 15% off automatically at checkout for a limited time. Just make sure to use that specific link to activate the discount. Now, I want to be clear, a delay spray isn't the only option, and it's not right for everyone. There are also behavioral techniques, pelvic floor exercises, and prescription medications that can help. But for many men, a delay spray is a great first step, something you can try on your own, safely and affordably. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. Despite everything the studies tell us, there is no single right amount of time for sex. What matters most is not how long you last on a stopwatch. What matters is how you and your partner feel about your intimate life together. Some nights you might want a quick, spontaneous connection. Other nights you might want something slow and leisurely. Both are valid. Both are part of a healthy sexual relationship. What we see in movies, what we hear in conversations, what we absorb from society, it all creates pressure. It makes us think we should be performing a certain way, lasting a certain length of time, or experiencing sex in a very specific way. But real intimacy is about communication, connection, and mutual pleasure. If you or your partner feel like something's off, talk about it. Ask what they're looking for. Share what you're experiencing. Sometimes the issue isn't timing at all. It's about foreplay, emotional connection, or simply slowing down and being more present with each other. And if you'd like to explore other ways to enhance pleasure in your relationship, I have a video on 10 ways to increase sexual satisfaction. I'll link that in the description so you can check it out. Thank you so much for being here today and for trusting me with these important questions. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who might benefit. And remember, your health matters, your concerns are valid, and you deserve care that's compassionate and informed. As always, take care of yourself because you're worth it.